All right, we are live out here at Modest Brewing. Hey, everybody, how you doing? I don't think that was the result anybody wanted tonight. Anybody watching at home, also watching the live stream. 118-103, game two. Oklahoma City is just pretty damn good, Ryan. I don't know what else to say about that one aside from I thought the Wolves played hard all night. I didn't think they had urgency until the fourth quarter, and that was problematic to me.
That's probably the best way to describe it. The Wolves there's something missing with this team right now. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe the fact that they weren't really tested in rounds 1 and 2. They just don't seem like they're ready to meet the pressure of the moment, to meet the physicality and what's required, especially in the Western Conference Finals. While Oklahoma City just coming off that big 7-game series against Denver, it's clear that they are in the right mental, aspect for them. They're dominating every aspect of the game right now, and you're right. I think you said it perfectly. They played hard, but there was zero urgency until the fourth quarter. And it's the Western Conference Finals. You've never been to the finals before as a franchise. That urgency has to be there for 48 minutes.
100% agree. I should also say, if anybody wants to come down and ask a question, please do so. We get a lot of social media questions, but anybody else who wants to come down and has a question or a comment or whatever about the game, please do so. This was not a good night for the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. Julius Randle, a no-show. Dante DiVincenzo, minus 27, I think, in this game. It finished a minus 27. That's not getting it done. He made a couple shots, but he's been trying to do too much this whole series. Julius Randle only had 6 points. He's kind of been limited since that big first half the other day. So, Ant was good. McDaniels was good. Everybody else just didn't really show up.
I think it's kind of clear what since the first half, what Oklahoma City's trying to do is they're willing to let Anthony Edwards get downhill and do his thing. They're doing a really good job of closing out the Wolves' 3-point shooters, forcing them to take tough, quick shots that they're not really accustomed to doing. But what they're doing really is though they are getting after Julius Randle. They are making sure that Ant's going to get his, but who is your secondary scorer? Tonight, McDaniels had 22, but Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet was a 3-headed monster. Right. The Wolves couldn't match that with the way Randle performed tonight. I think Minnesota's biggest issue right now is when Oklahoma City seems to go on these runs that they just they kind of take control of the game. Minnesota doesn't have the ability to kind of slow things down, to really just calm it down. Let's make sure we get a good shot offensively. Nope, they try to do too much. Each individual player tries to do too much. And it just compounds mistakes. And guess what? You turn the ball over, the Thunder get rolling, and next thing you know, you're down 15 or 20 in the blink of an eye.
Ant's got nobody in the backcourt that's a pressure release valve for him. Everybody else is secondary scorer. Everybody else plays off of him. You saw with Oklahoma City tonight, if Shea gets a little bothered, if he gets doubled, they just have Williams bring the ball up a couple times. The pressure release valve from having a second all-star guard is massive, and Ant hasn't had that all season. He hasn't had that basically in his entire career. That's what Dillingham is eventually supposed to be, I think.
Yeah.
But it's really showing right now that he's got to do it all on this offense right now.
Well, I think Mike Conley was the only starter within the positive plus minus, I believe, tonight.
It was the Mike Conley plus minus game. Mike Conley was a plus 15 in a 15-point loss.
Yeah, in 27 minutes. Mike Conley, I think it's clear he has to play more. And it's noticeable that a lot of times the Thunder, when they go on this run, is when Mike Conley is on the bench.
Right.
I think there's a big thing there that Finch really has to tap into, because people might understand what Mike does for this team, but his ability to just slow things down, make sure the game doesn't get out of hand, gets the Wolves into proper sets and lets them do their thing.
Yeah.
It's so vital in the playoffs right now. And we're seeing how important it is. Like you said, Jalen Williams is that role for the Thunder, that secondary. Mike Conley has to be that guy for the Wolves, and he's done a good job of it so far, but Finch needs to trust him more.
Fans here tonight at Modest are pretty positive, I thought, generally. The fans on social media are upset right now. I don't know about
people are pissed.
They're upset. John just entered the chat, said 35 years of not being able to muster an effort when it matters. The Wolves, listen, and I'm getting a lot of Chris Finch, like fire Chris Finch. I'm like, guys, do you realize how good you have it right now? Like, you're in the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years. Like, this has never happened before. Like, yeah, they're down 2-0 in the series. There's a lot to be frustrated about. But, man, like, calm down a little bit.
Look, everything we've learned so far about the Thunder this season is this is historically one of the best teams to play in a regular season.
Yes.
What they've done on both ends of the court and exactly what you're seeing happen right now in the Western Conference Finals. For Wolves fans, especially on social media, just calm down, take a deep breath. A playoff series never actually begins. You know this until a road team wins a game.
Yes.
So, I mean, Thunder did what they're supposed to do.
Road team definitely didn't win a game in Oklahoma City.
And it wasn't even really that close. But, I mean, you got to calm down. It's going to be just fine. This is the first time in history you're in back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Enjoy the ride while it is. This team's only going to get better. And the beauty of this is, yes, it might not happen this year, this series, but you are learning from this. You are gaining valuable experience about what it's going to take because the Thunder aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. No, they're not. Like, Brian, just look at all this. I'm going to share my screen for you. Just look at all this. Like, replace Finch with Malone before Game 3. Finch getting owned this series in every way. New owners might mean things will change in the offseason. Like, you guys, like,
coached.
It's like, I get it, but man, like, I don't know. It's just people get out of hand.
It's a little much.
People get out of hand. It's like you lost 2 playoff games. They were 8-2 in their first 10 playoff games this year.
I do think, there is points. I think Dagnall is coaching better than Finch. I think Finch is struggling in certain aspects. Mainly, I mean, Jalen Williams and SGA are 2 of the best mid-range, shooters in the game. They are so silky smooth. I am not fully understanding why he is choosing to stick with Rudy Gobert. And Gobert is a phenomenal defensive player in the drop, right?
Yes.
That's what he's great at. But you can't live like that against a pair of great mid-range shooters. I mean, they're coming off and they're just feasting. And that's been their go-to whenever they when Minnesota makes a run or they need something to happen. SGA or Jalen Williams gets in a pick and roll with either Isaiah Hartenstein or Chet, gets Rudy in it, Rudy drops, and there's that wide-open mid-range jumper that they do not miss. Finch has to make an adjustment at that point, and it might mean less Gobert minutes. Maybe you go to Reed and Randall and you do more of, he's not a fan of it, but more of a switch heavy, just kind of switch everything. Just you got to throw something different at the Thunder at this point. And right now it's too stagnant.
Well, and it was kind of nuts in a game like this. I mean, part of this was like I was critical of Finch only playing 8 guys tonight. Like, how do you not play more than 8 guys when you have so many people struggling? Like Rudy is struggling. Julius Randle's 2 for 11. Dante DiVincenzo's giving you absolutely nothing in this series. He's trying way too hard. There is an opening for Terrence Shannon Jr., maybe Clark again. I don't even Dillingham. It's just a change of pace. Somebody who can execute and maybe throw a different look at them on offense. I get it. Oklahoma City is like predicated on turnovers, making runs, like getting after you. So playing young guys in this situation might not be great, but like in the fourth quarter, what was there to lose at that point?
I mean, it's a Chris Finch staple, though. I mean, he's very Tom Thibodeau-like of the Knicks.
Right.
He has his 8 guys. He has Jalen Clark as the guy he kind of goes to if he needs something. He's not going to differentiate that, at this point. It's what's got them at this point. I do think that sometimes things need to change, and you're right. You have nothing to lose at this point. Why not try something different? Except you are throwing, 2 rookies and a second-year player into that role now. I mean, that's a tough spot to expect, from them. And maybe you are better off, doing what you're doing. I do think Anthony Edwards was much better tonight. He was phenomenal. I thought his ability to get downhill, and he had that swagger back that I am the best player, on this court. I mean, from Shea, but I am the best player. I am going to do what I have to do for our team. And you saw it. There are some times when he's losing faith in his shooters in the corner. He's not kicking as much, but you know what? You live with that. In the sense that he's getting to the free throw line, he's finishing at the rim. So I really liked Ant's game. I think that's that's what they're going to need from Ant moving forward. Who's going to come along for the ride, though? That's the biggest question they have.
He was finishing great at the rim. He was only 1 of 9 from 3-point range tonight. He was finishing great at the rim. He had 32 points. I feel like his 3 best games in the playoffs have been in their what seemed like must-win games. Their game 4 against the Lakers when the Lakers were close to getting it to 2-2. Game 3 against Golden State. That game where Jimmy was great, but they still beat him. And then this game, you looked at it like it's not a must-win game, but it kind of felt like it just because you go into this series like, I don't know how the Wolves can win 4 of the next 5 against this team now.
Well, the thing with this game for Ant is that he couldn't have another dud because at least this game, now he's in the series. He has a rhythm. He's feeling much better about himself, and now you're coming home. So you would hope that, you're home. Some of your role players might perform a little bit better. They're a little more comfortable. You're back to your normal routine, sleeping in your own bed. There's all those kind of little different aspects that make a big difference. So I'm really curious what kind of Wolves team shows up in Game 3. I expect it to be a much, feistier team. And look, it's 1 game at a time. 4 out of 5 against this Thunder team, which I don't know if they lost 4 out of 5 all year, to be honest with you.
I mean, they were 68-14. They probably did.
Playing the odds, yeah, I'm going to guess no there. But still, this is a team that it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. And the Wolves just got to find a rhythm. I do think if they can get one game, if they can steal game 3, they can hit a few shots. It'd be really interesting to see how this other team does with now the pressure kind of mounts back to them. As we saw, they struggled with Denver when, the pressure, was the largest. Yes, they won game 7, but that series never should have been 7 games in general. So
no,
it'll be interesting to see what happens in game 3.
What did you think? I was kind of spinning it forward. What did you think of them swarming Shea at the end? A lot of the fourth quarter where they were getting back into it, they were just getting the ball out of Shea's hands. They were like, somebody else has got to beat him. Like, is that something you can carry over for more minutes in game 3, or is that a desperation defense?
It's yes and no. I think you have to pick your spots for it. Your plan can't be to get the ball to Shea's hand every single possession. That's just not going to work. But I do think there are certain little tweaks you can make to get it out of his hand because
he's way too comfortable, right?
He is very comfortable. And then if you've noticed that when he got rid of the ball, he kind of stayed back. He let them play 4-on-4 the rest of the way. And that's what you kind of have to do. You've got to throw different looks at him. I would start throwing double teams late in the shot clock. I would just do little tiny tweaks that just Oklahoma City's in a phenomenal rhythm right now. They look so comfortable on both ends of the court.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. We were sitting here. I think the most impressive thing about this team is that they just every single possession they are in it. They are not lackadaisical at all. They play with their hair on fire every single possession on both ends of the court. And that's rare, especially for a team this young. So if you're Minnesota, you have to match that. You can't have these little tiny lackadaisical moments that it takes you out of your rhythm. It gets OKC out and running. Little things like that, little tweaks. I would start throwing double teams at Shea late in the shot clock. Just have them come from different places. And, if Caruso and some of the other guys start hitting threes and you lose that way, you can live with that. You can't live with Oklahoma City being this comfortable and Shea, Chet, and Jalen just controlling every aspect of the game.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, Oklahoma City was 9 of 33 from three-point range. They still won by 15. I mean, the Wolves definitely live and die by that more. They were 11 of 39, 28%. I mean, at some point in this series, they're going to shoot better. I just don't know if it's going to be too late in this series for them to shoot better.
It feels like it's a little too late at this point, but, this is why they play. You're coming home now. The playoffs, as we talked about earlier, a series doesn't begin until a road team wins.
Right
now, the home team took the first 2. Minnesota has to come home and take care of business on their end. And it starts with game 3, and it starts with Finch making small adjustments, which I personally think you can't play Rudy as much as you do.
No.
Rudy played, 28, 29 minutes, something like that tonight?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. 30 minutes.
Go play 30 minutes.
30 minutes, 5 points. Like his 2 points were like a putback and a free throw and a dunk. Like he's not affecting this series. If you're going to play him, basically they're playing him in like the kind of defense they used to play Cat in.
Yes.
And the drop defense, it's
the Thunder aren't afraid of him. The Thunder are not afraid to get to the rim and attack him.
And they've got two good bigs. I mean, it's different than the last 2 series they played.
Well, part of the issue too, I think I think Finch might be more comfortable with pulling Rudy is Naz Reid is in foul trouble every single game. It's the biggest theme for the postseason for him.
And Naz Reid hasn't made a 3-pointer in this series. He was 0-5 tonight.
That's not good.
That's a problem.
I mean, if Naz Reid can stay out of foul trouble, I think it allows you to pull Rudy and go back to that Naz Reid, Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and whoever is your 5th. You go with that lineup. That is the best lineup for the Wolves offensively and defensively, and that's a lineup that can really get after it. They can really pressure them, and you can make Oklahoma City uncomfortable at that point. But the question is, can Nas stay out of foul trouble, and does Finch, quote-unquote, have the stones to make that big of a move this late in the series?
Speaking of moves, Ant VP says not putting Clark in at the end of the first half and Jaden getting a stupid foul is inexcusable. I'm surprised there was no Jalen Clark. I thought he was good in limited minutes in game 1. I like his energy. He's been good against Shea this entire season. Why does he not play tonight?
I agree. I mean, if you're getting nothing from, Dante DiVincenzo and these kind of guys, throw Jalen Clark in. Here's the thing. It can't get any worse at this point.
It's not even desperation. He's
not.
A good player.
It's a guy who has, made Shea very uncomfortable. And you saw the few moments he had in that, in game 1, he got 2 offensive rebounds. He's just in the right place at the right time for putbacks. He's very comfortable in the moment. And I think the biggest thing about it is he understands, okay, this is kind of like, extra minutes for me. I'm just going to play within the flow of the team. I'm not going to do anything extra. And that's where they're having trouble. The Wolves are having too many guys trying to do too many things that they're not accustomed to doing. And it's showing at this point. So a guy like Jalen Clark entering the game, for a Dante or even for a Na, I think is big, and it probably needs to happen.
Colin on Blue Sky says, games were clones of each other, kept it close in the first half until they fell apart in the third, which is true. Blown out in the third quarter. OKC is the least enjoyable brand of basketball I've ever seen, and I survived the 2000s Wolves. He probably means the 2010 Wolves. The 2000 Wolves were good.
Yeah, so, I mean,
KG, man, some of those games
good
were
point.
Some were a hard watch, but I'm with it. I think Oklahoma City is I think people are down on Shea, but I think they play a pretty nice style overall.
Well, it's, like you said, what is the football term? It's the last four of the second quarter, first four of the third quarter. The Wolves are losing those minutes in every single quarter. They're losing the late minutes and the early minutes of each quarter, and that can't happen. That's absolutely killer. We talked about it. If they could just get it to 5 or 6 at one point, when it's at 8 or 9, but next it's at 12, 13. They're just absolute momentum killers, and it's really hard to come back from that. But, I mean, come on. OKC, not liking their brand of basketball, it's beautiful. Yes, the fail biting, I get. That's frustrating, but this is just gorgeous basketball from a squad like this.
Leaf has a great comment. He's one of our more reliable comments. Says, "What levers are there left for Chris Finch to pull?"
Because
I mean, we're going game 3 now. This is a must win. It would be the end of the series, but you're not coming back from 3-0.
The levers to pull, I think there's probably a few of them.
Okay.
It is you gotta change things up defensively. You can't sit and drop. You can't have Rudy Gobert play as much. You've got to trust Nas and Julius and play with a 5-man that you can switch more. I think Mike Conley needs to play more minutes. Just his ability to calm the offense down, that's a big one for them. And the other one is Julius has got to get more aggressive. You got to find a way to get both Julius and aggressive at the same exact time, and that's been an issue. The Thunder are doing a great job of taking out one or the other. So you got to design plays to get those two going right away. I think you got to change things up defensively, just little small tweaks there, and Mike Conley needs to play more. And like you said, throw in a Jalen Clark every now and then. Just see what the kid's got at this point.
And that, to me, says, blitz Shea a lot more. Get him uncomfortable. And those are the Jalen Clark minutes, because even if he gets in foul trouble in that situation, it's not like somebody you're counting on for big minutes. If that happens and it blows up, it's not the end of the world. I think getting him off his spot, getting him off his game, making him a little less comfortable. Yeah, he's the MVP. He can probably work around it. They've got other weapons and stuff, but I don't want him beating you in game 3.
Right now, SGA knows exactly what he's doing every possession. He knows where the screen's coming from, and he knows, hey, I can take this wide open mid-range, or I can kick it out to an open three-pointer if someone wants to show. Throw something different. Just do something different. Just give him a different look at some point. Make anyone else on this Thunder team beat you. Kind of what they're doing to the Wolves. Anyone but and Julius combined,
It's wild to me that Oklahoma City, by the way, was only 9 of 33 from 3. I felt like every 3 they made was a big one.
It was big. They do a really good job. Just Jalen Williams had I think 2 big threes that just killed the momentum, and they were wide open threes as well.
Chet Holmgren had a good game. I mean, all their Oklahoma City's best players came to play.
Yeah,
not all of Minnesota's did, and that was probably. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's a 68-win team that they're up against.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know where they go from here.
There's a reason they were underdogs in the series in the first place. So,
but they're not playing like underdogs. That's part of the problem. They're not playing like they're underdogs. They're playing like they can just beat these guys like they beat the last 2 teams.
Exactly.
That's a problem. They've not found another gear yet.
There's no urgency with this team at all right now. I mean,
not until the fourth quarter.
Ant came out, looked much better, but no one really joined the fight with him till later on. So I think this is it's kind of a little bit of soul-searching time for this team. Look, yes, you might lose this series overall because beating Oklahoma City 4 out of 5 is not an easy thing to do. But what kind of pride do you want to show? What are you going to learn from this, and what do you want to take going into the offseason next year if this is the way it goes?
100%. Ryan, great stuff. Modest Brewer crowd, great to see you guys tonight. Fun game. Didn't turn out the way you wanted to, but you guys were awesome all night. Thank you so much for joining us here and on the live stream, or if you're listening later on, and we will talk to you guys again later.
Thank you.